Okay, y'all get ready for what I'm going to read. This is blowing my mind. So, it says, you have questions about Lindsey. And I was like, I thought we established that, but yeah, sure. And then the first word I heard was exposure, chemical exposure. And I'm like, what? And there's like a direct inhalant. It counteracted with his lungs. Breathing got really hard and labored. It made his chest hurt, and that set in panic. Panic raised his blood pressure, which he already wasn't paying attention to. No, he didn't fly back because he didn't make it on the plane. The maid found him, naked and alone. Real quick, y'all, all of this is entertainment purposes only, okay? Just me talking to God. All right, so, hey, Jen. So, and I'm like, the whole time I'm kind of battling with this because I'm like, we got some kind of reading on this already, right? Anyway, so the maid found him naked and alone, but he had definitely been engaged in activities with someone. I just, and then I wrote, I just heard it is done. And I saw a person speaking into a receiver on his wrist, like a dainty looking Apple Watch. You know how you can change the band? Yeah, girl. I was trying to read on Nolan, but I had both of them because, I was watching somebody and I was watching Linda G and she said, oh, Lindsey just came in. And I was like, what? And so I guess he stayed in my mind. I don't remember what she said about him. But anyway, so then, and this is really important. I'm getting chills. This is really important about the daintiness of the watch because it was not to look like a man's watch. This is really important because this person, while a man, looked like a woman, if that makes sense. You know, costume, everything. So the daintiness of the watch was really important because I was like, are these bracelets? Or what are these things? And then I remembered that you can change the wristband on a watch and they sell really dainty looking wristbands. So I heard him say, it is done. And it's interesting because I don't think Lindsey was dead yet. I think he was paralyzed. Because, like I said, he was struggling to breathe. But also, I kind of saw like tears in his eyes. Anyway, so okay. And they said this as they're gathering up their clothes and other evidences that they were there. So they left him there, sprawled on the bed, lying on his back, because there was an activity that was taking place. I was like, please don't let me see this activity. Anyway, and then I see them adjusting their black wig, which looked kind of like a bob. And I'm like, this is too much like the movie I wrote a couple of years ago. And but it was like, this is it. So anyway, so adjusted the wig and then wiped his mouth. So now you have an idea what the activity was. Then walked out with his head down, sashaying to have the appearance of a woman on security camera. So that's why the head was down. So, but before that happened, because it backed up a little bit, and I heard Lindsey say, what did you do to me? As the panic began to build. And the person says, relax, it's just an aphrodisiac. So I think it was a misting spray. I think they sell those. I think they sell them like pheromones bottles or something. It sounds familiar. But he was like, relax, it's just an aphrodisiac. But the counter of it, Lindsey counters, I can't breathe. Please, you got to help me. And that's when he said, I can't die tonight. And I was thinking, because I know that he said, or they reported that he said he can't die tonight. So I'm like, am I being creative here? Am I pulling this in from what I know that they said? Because I was like, wouldn't he say like, I can't die like this or something? Because I'm fighting with the message. But it's like, no, because that phrase took over, and that's where they actually got it from. So, and then I got the drink because I'm like, what about the drink? Like, I saw a drink when we did the initial reading, and it was like the drink was a sedative. So it was to, keep him from moving and reacting really fast. It said they didn't expect that level of panic, though, from him. And this is weird because they spoke, I can't tell, like with a German Russian accent. Like, is that even a thing? Because it was kind of like, I think I heard like Russian words, but the accent was a little off. So it didn't feel like just Russia. Wait, did you just ask me the accents? Did you just ask that and I just said it? Like typing it as I was saying it? Yes, it's weird. Because it's like speaking Russian, but the accent was a little off. So anyway, he was about to sanction Russia and mess up their oil money, his usefulness in creating the war distraction with IRA had been served. Um, so, and obviously he had too much time on. Okay, this part is interesting because the voice of this changed to where I was in the energy of someone. Now, this person does have kind of a heavier Russian accent. It's almost movie style, you know? But so I heard his usefulness in. Okay, after I wrote he was about to sanction Russia and mess up their oil money, it then switched to like this first person thing. The energy of this first. See, I'm getting chills. Okay. And it says his usefulness in creating the war distraction with Ira had been served. Obviously, he had too much time on his hands and brought his focus in the wrong direction. And the secrets he shared from Ukraine were more than enough. We now know who could be infiltrated in Ukraine, who to compromise, someone very close to Vladimir. And then I didn't hear any more from him. And I got Lindsey now realizes how he had been used as a pawn, because that's when I saw the misting of the tears in his eyes as he was paralyzed essentially on the bed, as his heart was like rupturing, I guess. Lindsey now realizes how he had been used as a pawn. His sister plans to find out exactly what happened to her brother because she doesn't buy that story one bit. Zell, the sunflower guy, didn't come to just pay respects to Lindsey. He came to make sure his country was not implicated in what happened to him. He doesn't trust the U.S. at all, especially because he knows the orange one is allegedly for entertainment purposes, not allegedly for entertainment purposes, alive. So he isn't the one calling the shots. Narco Coolio is, and Narco Coolio is very unpredictable. Zell can sense the volcano beneath Narco Coolio's surface. So he wanted to know their next move. He knows Lindsey was set up and he knows Lindsey was a leak. So he needed to know what information was shared and with whom, because he also knows it wasn't just Russia. And then I was told to take another break. Okay, and then we're going to get into Nolan. But then I just heard that's enough for tonight. We'll finish up with Nolan tomorrow. I was like, okay, thank you. Now I go live. All right, so holy smokes. It was so interesting. I was in different energies. Receiving from my soul team, and then just temporarily in that guy from Russia, and then temporarily in Lindsey, and then back to my soul team, and then into Vladimir Zell. Oh, I had another message. Hold on. And it was, because it was interesting. This one came to me when I was in the bathroom, and it was one thing about smart comedians is they know how to read a room. So, and we already know that Zell is of the intuitive. Anyway, that was wildly crazy. And that's what took so long to come on, because I got all those pages personally and then those pages for that. All right, so we're going to, Jen, I swear, you're like typing as I'm telling. Like, yeah, he is. He's one of us. But also, comedians are really good at seeing what you don't want them to see, because they're just okay. And then he's a comedian who's now engaged in training, right? Not training, but defense. But then also, you guys, we looked it up. His grandfather was one of the. His grandfather was in the Holocaust. I think he fought in the Holocaust or something of that nature. And yeah, so the whole, no, his whole family, I think, was taken there or whatever. I forget how it goes. You have to look it up for yourself. But the point is, his line was the only one to survive this thing. And so he's a direct descendant of someone who survived the Holocaust or fought. I think they were fighters. I think, yes, because they went back to fight. So his grandpa is direct line from that. So again, another return of another soul. Okay. So, interesting story.